Alright, all set. And 3, 2, 1, action! This is Cinematic Motif. Hello, I'm Wanson, the film columnist and the content creator, and welcome back to Cinematic Motif, where I introduce you films in Taiwan and around the world. So today we're actually going to talk about film festival again. We love film festivals. We've been always talking about major film festivals here in Taiwan, and today we're going to talk about a film festival that is the biggest one that is dedicated to supporting female artists here in Taiwan. That is Women Make Waves International Film Festival, or 台湾国际女性影展. Today I'm very happy to be joined by the curator of the film festival. We have Hui Ying in the studio with us today. Hello, Hui Ying.
Hello, wanson.
Okay, so Hui Ying, could you please start by talking about what is Women Make Waves International Film Festival? Because this might be a little bit refreshing or something new for a lot of audience, I guess.
Okay, so Women Make Way Film Festival for this year is already marked its 31st edition, so it's quite a long time. So basically, the Women Make Way Film Festival starts in 1993, which is right after the lift of the martial law. And also, it's the time when the woman movement and also gender movement are quite starting out. And there's so much going on in terms of the gender issues. So there are a lot of big protests or some rally gathering in terms of the gender issue. So I think Women Make Way can be seen as part of that really large movement in terms of gender movement in Taiwan.
Yeah, it all started in around 1990s, as you said. 1990s, we've seen a lot of we can say gender movements here in Taiwan. So the film festival is basically something born from that movement.
Yeah,
and I think that is very, very cool. This year we have the 31st edition, and just for our listeners' information, it's going to start in October, actually on October 18th this year. So in Taipei, the film festival this year, you have this theme called spacing. I think that is a very, very interesting term because apparently I can sense the double meanings in the theme of this year's festival. So Hui, as a curator, could you please tell us a little bit what does this spacing mean and how does it shape the programming of the festival this year?
Okay, so spacing actually, the idea of spacing can be plain simple, but also can be of multitude meanings involved. And so the very first idea is when it related to the space, the space on the keyboard. Yeah, so it's just a very planned act of clicking the space keyboard and then to create some space within between the words, and also it became kind of like a editing process. And in this editing process, I found you can actually have momentarily pause, or it can be also a time to breathe, but also it sort of echo back to kind of like a voluntary act of doing something. So I think that really have the agency back into your own self. By referring to spacing, we actually want to really look deeper in terms of a lot of issues that is happening in Taiwan or in general in around the world, including Me Too movement.
Yeah, we've seen the Me Too movement in these few years, and that is definitely a big part of the gender discussion here in Taiwan.
Yes. Yeah, so there are so many things going on, but we just want to create some space.
Yes.
So that we can look clearer and also have more time to reflect on these things that seems to be passing so quickly.
Yeah. So it's a time to take a pause and then stop a little bit to reflect, right? And I think it's also important, as you talked about agency. It's totally our voluntarily to do this thing, to stop and have this space. I think this concept itself is very important and very beautiful for apparently some feminist movement. We talked about the agency of stopping. So let's talk about, as you said, there are so many things happening in our world right now, including conflicts and wars that is happening all over the world these few years. So in the programming this year, I saw that there's a feature program called Everyday Battlefield. And of course, we have Notes on Free Palestine. These two programs both feature, I think, themes about the women in war and conflict in Palestine and in other, conflict zones here in the world. So why did you choose these topics? Are they trying to reflect or respond to several current events?
Yes, it definitely try to look at this current thing that is happening right now. But I want to mention first that Notes on a Free Palestine is actually one of the very first program that we decided to do for this year, because we just feel like there are not so much discussion going on in terms of Palestine current situation in Taiwan. We just want to maybe first kind of like introduce more artists from Palestine, and also we by doing so, we actually the way we do programming is actually to broaden the time scale. So for this program, we include some of the films from 1970s or 80s, or so it's actually starts like really early.
Yeah, it's not just right now, what is happening right now in Palestine, but also digging into the history of women in Palestine, right?
Yeah, and by doing so, we just want to hope the audience can have deeper understanding in terms of Palestine through more like experimental and creative angle. We want to show another kind of image of Palestine. As for the everyday battlefield, we found out that although for the news there are a lot of talking about Ukraine and Russia and Palestine, but there are actually many other things going on.
Yes.
So that's why we want to do this program to bring into other perspective in terms of what's really going on right now. On the world scale.
Yeah, I think one of the best things about cinema is that we get to see stories from not just stories that we can see on the news every day, but there are many different lives that are happening all over the world. And I truly believe that the Everyday Battlefield, this program, is definitely trying to do these things, right?
Yeah.
Is there a favorite one, like from the so many lives that you can see in Everyday Battlefield and perhaps in Free Palestine? Is there a favorite film from you, a personal choice?
For like one?
Yeah.
If there's one, I would recommend A Bit of Stranger.
In Chinese it's 战火下的爱与隔阂, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a Ukrainian film, but I think the angle of it is very special. It involves like 4 generations of women, which is involved in the director's own mother and also her own daughter and daughter's daughter. So so it's like a very like a family portrait, but what's really going on is like they try to film all this during the wartime, so you cannot really expect what's the future or what will happen. And their relationship also change because their own ideology toward their own country and toward Russia is really, really different. You can really see like what's really important when one is facing like really chaotic situation.
Yeah. Okay, so do not miss this very tender and I think very touching movie. It's called A Bit of a Stranger from the Women Makes Way Film Festival this year. Alright, so Hui, now aside from the programs, I would like to talk to you a little bit about yourself. I think after listening to all these great perspectives about film festival, I think some of our listeners will be interested about you. You as the curator. I heard that you began as a volunteer at this film festival a few years back. So can you share about your first experience with the film festival and what inspired you to keep working with it until now?
Okay, so when I was involved as a volunteer, I think that is back in when I was college years. Women Make Way is among one of the festival that I volunteer. I first joined Women Make Way is like 2016. So that is like some years like in between. But I think the reason why I joined Women Make Way is quite clear that the films that they show and also I think the characteristic is really obvious, and
this goal to make sure that we're supporting women and then supporting women artists, right?
Yeah. And also in terms of like trying to see like gender continue to reflect on gender as it evolve. And also I think Women Make Ways for me is not just a festival that supports women or queer film artists, but also it provides another alternative perspective to the mainstream films. So that's the main reason why I just kept doing it until now.
Yeah. And perhaps for our listeners, if you are willing to participate in the film festival, if you're willing to go to the film festival for the very first time, perhaps you'll find some goals like Hui Ying did to enjoy the film festival again and again. Alright, so let's play a song and we'll be right back to talk about other programs and other activities in the films festival this year. Let's play Secret and Thank Me Later, which I think is a very song that reflects the female agency and power to leave a relationship. And we'll be right back on Cinematic Motif.
Is it supposed to be like a never-ending train ride, or waiting for a gray sky to turn to sun? I kiss you when I feel it. We talk like we're defeated. We're just scared of being quitters after this long. Someone should
Welcome back to Cinematic Motif. Today we're chatting with the curator of Women Make Waves Film Festival, 台湾国际女性影展 the curator 慧颖陈慧颖 in the studio with us. Hello, 慧颖.
Hello everyone.
Okay, so we were talking about the festival programs this year, and now next up, I also want to talk about the competition in the film festival this year. As we all know, Women Make Waves International Film Festival includes a Taiwan competition, a Taiwan 竞赛 every year. So this year, did you notice any particular trends or themes in the filmmakers' submissions this year? As we discussed about, the conflicts all over the world, we've seen Me Too movements. Is there a particular theme?
Yeah, I think for this year particularly, I think I'm really amazed by the submission because among the submission, there are actually the number of the feature film has been like the highest amount. This is our 11th edition, and I just so amazed to see that there are so many feature film included in this year, and I think that means a lot because I don't know whether people have heard of a saying, say, for a female filmmaker to make the first feature film may be still easy, but for the second feature film, that the gap between is like 7 years or something like that. Yeah, so there's some sort of saying like there is some difficulty in terms of like the gender differences that is really still happening in the film industry, and so I was like really surprised to see so many, and I think they're the issue they brought in, or the the form they created is really different. You can see there are films that is tackle about her own father's criminal case. So it's really about her own family story. But at the same time, you also saw like Taiwanese filmmaker who made a film totally in Japanese in Japan. Yeah, so you can really see like so many different...
The diversity, right?
Yeah, so I was really amazed by that.
Alright, so of course you have the competition, but with so many film festivals popping up here in Taiwan in the last few years, we've seen a lot of film festivals, and it's important for you to stand out and attract audience. So for this year's festival, are there any renovations or new events that you're trying to do and you're excited about?
For this year, I think every year we are trying to do some kind of experiment. Yeah, and for this year, I think one of the things that I'm really excited about is we finally get to screen some horror film.
Oh,
yeah,
horror films.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a fan of horror films.
I think the horror trope is really getting more and more popular in terms of, especially for female artists. Yeah, you can see there's a kind of a rise of horror film, especially body horror. But what we do is not like that. We actually try to do the program that includes some films that are not typical kind of horror film. Yeah, so it's
Are there any ghosts? Or it's just a little bit horrifying?
Yeah, a little more like I would say more like a mashup of. There are some ghosts, but there are also zombie or more like a mystery kind of elements. We include like the Witch Cradle, which is like Maya Deren film, so it's like a really classic, but we try to put like classic experimental film with like other really independent kind of punk film, so it's really totally different.
Yeah, the horror movies.
Yeah,
people, you should not miss the horror movies at the film festival this year. Alright, so finally, this is the thing that I always do to all the film festival guests. I want to ask you, for the first time audience, what would you recommend to recommend them to watch or do at the film festival this year?
There are
Too many things to do.
Yeah,
Too many things to watch.
there are so many things going on because we, other than the film screening, we also have a workshop. We invite Ling Sak, an experimental filmmaker, to lead the workshop, and the final presentation will be open to the public. Yeah, and for the first, I will recommend, other than opening film, because opening film is something if you really don't know what to see, and then I think the opening film won't
it won't be a regretful thing.
Other than opening film, I really want to recommend The People's Joker. Yeah, so it's like it's Joker, but the filmmaker trying to make it like her own queer universe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just about women film. It's also a queer film.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this queer artist is called Vera Ju, and she is a transgender woman, and she actually starred in this film, and she personally directed, written, and edited the film. I think what's really amazing is that she really tried to queering all the DC universe elements.
This film is called The People's Joker, 小丑万万岁, and the Joker is a character from the DC universe, right? The director is trying to queerizing every character.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
and it's a very satiristic thing, and I think it's gonna be very, very, exciting one.
Yeah, and also I think if you are really a fan for more like mainstream movie or fan for DC universe, I think maybe you will be also very interesting to see some kind of other kind of presentation of like the really familiar character
from the different perspective to view that these characters from DC universe. Are they authorized to do this film?
Actually, they are not, but
Wow.
it's really, really interesting journey because when this film was premiered in Toronto Film Festival, the filmmaker actually received like a warning from the Warner Brothers.
Okay.
So they are actually a campaign of Free the People's Joker. Right after this warning letter, there are so many gathering online in terms of just people really, really want to see this film. And so after like 1 year and a half, the film finally theatrically released in US. And so it's just gathered so much of like a crowd reaction to this film. So I think it's really an honor for us to show this film in Taiwan too.
Okay, you should not miss this one because there was actually a campaign to make this film to be released theatrically. The People's Joker, 小丑万万岁. Alright, so these are all my questions, and Huiying, thank you so much for joining us today on the show.
Thank you so much.
And if you're interested in this film festival, it's going to start from October 18 to October 27 at Taipei Spot Huashan Theatre, and you can definitely visit their social media accounts, right?
Yeah.
Just search for Women Make Waves Film Festival or 台湾国际女性影展. Alright, so that is all for our show today. You can also follow me on my Instagram and YouTube. My handle is @WANSONSCAFE. This has been Cinematic Motif. Thank you for tuning in. I'm back next week. Bye bye.